Metabolism Masterclass tonight. Literally, nothing gets me more excited than talking about the metabolism. I mean, I named my program the Metabolic Makeover for a reason because it truly did change my life. And I'll go over my story here in a second. But I am so happy that you all are here tonight because maybe you are struggling with the slow metabolism. Maybe you just want to learn more about metabolism. And all of those are great, valid reasons to be on this call. And I'm happy to lead you through anything. And if you have any questions throughout this presentation, feel free to just drop them in the chat and I'll be answering them at the end or throughout what kind of ever makes sense more. So today we're going to cover why you feel like your metabolism has just left the group chat. I'm not sure if anyone feels like that right now, but I know a lot of women talk to me and they were very frustrated. Like, why all of a sudden did I turn 30 or 40 and my metabolism just vanished? So we're going to be talking about the reasons for that today, and then how to reset your metabolism for good in order to lose body fat and gain muscle tone once and for all. And then also how to keep your metabolism fast, because the crazy thing, and we'll go over into the science part here in a second, is that metabolism is adaptive and it can adapt up, it can adapt down. So we want to keep that metabolism fast. It is really a myth that your metabolism completely loses its robustness as you do get older. Yes, it does slow down slightly, but not enough to cause you to lose body fat. So we'll be going over the science part of that here in a second. And then stay to the end because you will get a free metabolic assessment. And I'll be dropping that link in here at the end of the presentation. Okay, so we're gonna learn all of this so that way you can enjoy your favorite foods without gaining weight. I mean, I remember having a slow metabolism and literally feeling like I looked at food and gained weight, like just doing that alone. So nice to have a fast metabolism that you can have your favorite foods and not feel that food guilt because your metabolism is in a very flexible spot. Finally be able to lose fat and get toned. I know I mentioned that in past slides, but it's really frustrating to feel like you're in a spot where maybe you're working out, you're trying and really not seeing the results. And a lot of times that's because of your metabolism. You want to feel confident in your swimsuit in the summer. You want to stop the binge and restrict cycle once and for all. That's very frustrating and just really hurts your relationship with food there. And you want to be that friend that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm the friend with the fast metabolism now. I'm sure you all can think of one friend that is just can eat whatever she wants and doesn't gain weight. And I want you to become that friend. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I've helped so many women go through this exact process of eating more calories to gain lean muscle tone and lose body fat and just have an overall better outlook on life, better biofeedback, meaning they are having more energy and better sleep and all of this beautiful stuff. And I mean, these progress photos obviously shows their physical change, but so much mental as well as those quality of life changes has come with that as well. So as far as like why is your metabolism slow, I would love if anyone would drop in the chat if you can kind of relate to feeling like you're here because you have a slow metabolism. I'm sure a couple of you maybe feel that way. And I said hint at the bottom. It's not because I see some people in the chat here. It's not because of your age, the foods you're eating, lack of supplements. I feel like there's so much misinformation out there that is like, this is why your metabolism is slow. And then when I see these TikToks or reels, I'm like, oh my goodness, like people are seeing the wrong stuff. And I think there is a lot of fear mongering around metabolism and why it's slowing down and stuff. But the great part is that your body is adaptable, it can be fixed, and this is exciting and should be feel empowering and awesome for you. And let's talk a little bit about me. And I know a lot of you probably already know this story, so feel free to tune me out for the next minute or two. But I struggled with a slow metabolism for years. This picture of me on the left, I was eating 1,200 calories religiously, and I felt awful. I literally couldn't go out to eat. I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do without feeling like I was going to gain weight. I was exercising so much. I don't know if anyone else has been personally victimized by the BBG guides, but I was like doing HIIT workouts like it was my full-time job. And overall just led me to a really bad relationship with food. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror one night and being like, I cannot live this way any longer. If I go any longer feeling like this, it's going to lead to some a rough outcome. So honestly, once I reached out to my first coach, this is now a long time ago, 2019, and was able to restore my metabolism, that is really what gave me my life back and that flexibility back. And if I would have done that, if I wouldn't have done that, I honestly don't know where I would be at today. I mean, not only did I now build a whole business around it because of how magical that was and going through it myself and realizing, wow, I can have a life where I'm enjoying food and I'm not feeling restricted. And it has obviously given me my career and have been able to help so many women now at this point do this. But yeah, it is hard and it's a really, I would say, scary and sad time to be in. But just know it is possible to get out. I'm living proof. The pictures I put up before is living proof, and I'm happy we're all today to be here. And Sarah Wolf just put in the chat, I feel like I've been restricting myself and bouncing back, and it's been this vicious cycle. 100%. Like that is a really hard spot to be in, and a lot of women don't open up and talk about it. And I know when I share my story, I have so many people responding back to me like, I feel that exact way, and you would never think that about them. Like they post on their Instagram like going out to eat, but it's this mental thing that's going on and brewing in your mind for sometimes years that we don't talk about and we silence ourselves. And yeah, it's hard. Like Cassandra just said, like I do good for a while and then fall off. Like being in that cycle is frustrating. And how awesome would it be to not be in that cycle and to just like wake up and live a healthy lifestyle? And I would be lying if I said that I'm perfect 100% of the time. Definitely not. But I think there's a difference between feeling like you're always back and forth and always, and then sometimes like always on your health and fitness journey, which we'll talk about that here in a second. But let's go into some of the like scientific reasons why your metabolism is slow. So, number one, you have been under eating for a long period of time, which has down regulated your metabolism. This is very common, especially for my chronic diet cultures. I don't know if anyone's been victimized by diet culture mindset, keto diet, 1200 calorie diets. I know I have. I've been victimized by all of it. And when we do all of those things, especially for someone, especially my like probably like 35 and up clients, they've lived a life where low fat, high carb, all they've had all the diets. And when you do that for long enough, your body's metabolism is going to go, well, like what is going on? It's going to downregulate. And a lot of people are now experiencing those repercussions. We'll go into that a little bit more in a second with a case study, but number two is you aren't moving enough. A lot of women are like, my metabolism is so slow, but they're literally parked in their desk all day. Maybe they get a 30-minute workout in the morning. Great, better than nothing. But we got to be moving in order to have a fast metabolism. And then number three, you're not focusing on stress management and hormones. When it comes to your metabolism, we have to make sure your body is in a not stressed out state. And a lot of us probably live a high stress life. And that's just kind of the nature of us kind of being women and driven and moms and all of that stuff. But it does also have those repercussions on your metabolism and your thyroid and a lot of different things when we are in a very stressed out state. So that's something we'll be also diving into and looking at. Cassie just said, trying to stay positive. I have a daughter for sure. I think when you are also having to show that example to your children, it really does put things into perspective. Cheryl said, I'm always stressed. I think everyone in this chat probably has felt stressed. And I know a couple of my clients are on this call too, that stress really does make a big, big, big difference on your metabolism. And not only just your metabolism, but water retention and all of that stuff. You've probably seen stress affect the scale at some point. Okay, let's go into a client case study. So this is one of my lovely clients that has been with me now for over 3 years. This is kind of the beginning of her journey here, but she's amazing. And she came to me. She was eating 1,400 calories, totally unable to lose weight. She was doing all the cardio. She was eating healthy. I vividly remember on her onboarding questionnaire saying, Abby, like I eat a lot of salads. Like I'm eating salads. Like what's going on? And since we were able to actually reset her metabolism, she was able to lose 25 pounds and keep it off. This was actually the start of her journey. So 1,400 calories, 215 pounds. We slowly, strategically increased her calories, and she actually lost 25 pounds in the process, which is freaking crazy because her metabolism needed that reverse diet in order to see results. So 1400, 200 plus calories. I'm sure anyone on this call is like, that sounds amazing. And a lot of people's bodies do respond this way when you do a reverse diet because it's like your body's been craving that food and you've been in this like starvation state for so long that having less stress on your body with not being in this underfed state and really establishing and being able to like reset, I guess, like those hormones in your metabolism really does do the trick there. And the great part is that she's literally been able to keep off that weight plus lose more since working with me. So it is definitely something that isn't just like this quick fix. It is like for the long haul. But not only than that, like she sends me awesome pictures of playing with her grandkids. She literally went water skiing this weekend. Like she's so healthy, more confidence in her career. Like she looks amazing. She's always buying new clothes and showing me like the things that she bought. And it's just really awesome to get your life back by eating more food and by not doing the things that diet culture teaches us. If anyone has any questions, drop them in the group chat too. But here are some signs you might have a slow metabolism. I want you all to kind of read through this list with me. And if you have any of these, you can put them in the group chat, or you can just say, yes, I have these symptoms. I don't need to know specifics necessarily right now, but share them. I think other women would definitely relate. You have been chronically under eating or dieting. You have a poor relationship with food. Maybe you wake up in the morning with food guilt, or you're like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have eaten that. Low energy, low libido, excessive soreness and inability to recover, moodiness, brain fog, hunger constantly, loss of appetite, poor sleep, plateaus with fat loss or progress, any sort of like menstrual or cycle changes, like if you ever like miss a period or you don't get a period for a while and you're like, what's going on? And you're obviously not pregnant. That could be definitely a sign of your slow metabolism. And then if you try to go into a calorie deficit and your body is just not responding, definitely a telltale sign that you have a slow metabolism there. Cassie is saying yes. I'm sure a lot of people are saying yes too. I remember in that first photo that I shared of myself, like I was experiencing, I think, all of these, and it's not a fun spot to be in, especially if it becomes your baseline and just kind of normal for you. So let's talk about how we're going to reset this. So 3 steps to reset your metabolism: assess, restore, and stabilize. So step 1 is assess. Where is your metabolism at currently? What I have all my clients do, and I can help you through your metabolic assessment that I'll drop the link at the end of this presentation on how I can do that for you. But what you're going to do is track what you normally eat for a week and see if it's above or below what your body requires to maintain, which is your estimated maintenance calories. There's a lot of websites that do like estimated maintenance calories. I personally love to use tdee.net, which is total daily energy expenditure. And you pretty much just put in your height, weight, activity level. It's kind of basic. And that's kind of why having a professional to also have like a second set of eyes to see if like, is that in the ballpark? Is that right? Can be helpful. Again, I'm biased, but I do think that it does give you at least like a baseline of like where you probably should be. And if you're way under that or you're way over that, you kind of know where your metabolism is. So that's a good way though to see like, okay, am I eating and how far away is that from my like predicted maintenance? I'm sure actually like ChatGPT nowadays even can calculate this for you. I'll honestly do that science experiment for myself because I think that would be interesting. But for example, I was eating 1,200 calories when I was tracking my food and when I uploaded it to my initial coach. And that's 1,100 calories under my estimated maintenance. So obviously we are under eating. If anyone has any questions, drop them in the chat. But why your metabolism slows down, it's called metabolic adaptation. So it's your body's way of protecting itself. So think of caveman times. If a famine hit and you had this fast metabolism, you would starve to death. And that would not be the vibe. So your body basically has this safety mechanism where when your body thinks in your brain, like, I'm not eating enough, there's a famine. And so what it'll do as a safeguard is down-regulate your metabolism, slow it down. That way you can actually survive. So your body's not necessarily doing a bad thing. Yes, in modern time, you're like, why is my metabolism slow? But the purpose of it is to protect yourself and to slow down these processes so that way you don't expend too much energy and starve to death. And the good thing is that this is not permanent. Just like it can adapt down, it can also adapt up through a strategic reverse diet. So also too, if you do like a healthy fat loss phase, I'm not talking any of these like BS fad diet, super low calorie things. You can mitigate a lot of this. I still do a reverse diet for all of my clients when they do end a dieting phase with me. That way they can maintain all of their progress eating more food, which is the best thing ever. I think a couple of my clients are on here right now that are going through that reverse diet post dieting phase with me, and you want to maintain your progress. So I'll go over a case study on that here in a second, but we want to make sure that like it's not permanent. Your metabolism isn't broken forever. It's just something that we need to reverse. So step one, we already went over assess, metabolic adaptation. Step two is restore. So if you have confirmed your metabolism is downregulated, you're under eating from where your maintenance is supposed to be, you will need a reverse diet. So reverse dieting is, in kind of short terms, slowly and strategically bringing your calories up to restore your metabolism, preventing any unnecessary fat gain. I, as a coach, like to take more of a conservative approach with this. So maybe increasing a client's calories by 80 to 100 calories every couple of weeks, but also taking into account how's their body responding, how are their pictures looking, how is the scale looking, how is their energy, hunger hormones. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this, and my check-in form is literally like a novel because I want to make sure my clients every single thing is taken into account there when making adjustments. But that is basically what you do. It can be scary a little bit to do it on your own, or even when you're doing it with someone, because you're like, I'm eating more food. Am I going to gain weight? But if you do it in the right way, you will not, and you'll feel so much better. Another thing is solidifying your healthy habits that boost your metabolism through nutrition, movement, fitness, stress management. And I'll go over some of those habits at the end here. But we want to make sure through the reverse diet, we're increasing our calories, but we're also staying consistent with the exercise and the sleep and all of those things that aren't as like sexy, but are very, very important. Step three, stabilize. So once you have reverse dieted to maintenance, we're going to be in a metabolic restoration state. I do like to have people stay there for like 3 months or so to get the best results. Everyone is a little bit different. Some people's metabolism adapts a little bit quicker. So that's something that I always take into account, but we don't want to just go immediately back into a calorie deficit. If we do that, we're just going to be kind of back to zone one. And you don't do all this reverse dieting to just go back into a deficit and not see progress, right? You want to get the most out of your reverse diet. So in this metabolic restoration state, I always say this is like the most important thing because your hormones are regulating, your body is taking its time to heal. Deficits, I know I'm kind of given this as like a deficits are scary kind of tone, but they're not, but they are a stress on your body. And that stress takes some time to undo. And so with this metabolic restoration state, that's where your body's healing. It's good. It's good to be there. And I know clients can get kind of impatient sometimes, but I promise you, if you are patient with it, your body's going to be primed to lose body fat. And I think you always have to remind yourself, just like you didn't get to this state in a month, it will take you time to get out of. If you think back to the first diet you've done, maybe you've been dieting for 30 years. Like, it's not going to all be reversed in a period of 2 months. Like, it's going to take some time to get your metabolism back. So we got to be patient, but there's so many things we can do during this metabolic restoration state, like focusing on healthy habits and building a healthy lifestyle. Strength training to build lean muscle tone so we can have that body recomposition of losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time. It's a great time to get toned. And then your body is going to give you the green light. Like, I am ready to go into a cut and actually lose body fat this time, because maybe you're here because you have been trying to go into a calorie deficit or cut and your body's like, no way, I am not doing that. This is the missing link of why this is happening and why you'll be able to, once doing your reverse diet and stuff, go into a successful cut in the future. Okay, I know that was a lot of science. Questions, put them in the group chat. I'm going to move on while you guys are typing that. I want to share with you this amazing client case study because a big problem I hear from women is that they maybe can lose fat, but they really struggle to keep it off. I know I've been there, and I've literally hundreds of times have heard women on calls tell me this. So this client came to me struggling to lose fat and keep it off. That was the hardest part for her. She loves to travel. She loves to go on weekend trips. She loves being flexible with her nutrition. I love that. What we did at the end of her fat loss phase, so as you can see, she lost 25 pounds here. It's always hard for me to do the math on live calls. Like I feel like I'm gonna actually mess up the math, but 25 pounds is amazing. We did a reverse diet from this picture to this picture. We increased her calories by around 500 from these two photos. And she was able to actually lose 2 pounds in that process. And she looks amazing in both photos, but you can even see like more like glute muscle and like more toned arms and stuff. So this is really like proof that reverse dieting is something that you really need. And when people fail to do a reverse diet after a really successful fat loss phase, like these two photos on the left, amazing. Where a lot of people go wrong is that they just jump back to where they were at before maintenance wise or back into bad habits. And that is just a recipe to put on body fat rapidly. And we don't want that. We want to slowly go up, and that way we can actually maintain the weight loss and have the proper metabolic exit strategy, like I like to call, to maintain that. But some other improvements she had was when you go from a spot of being in a calorie deficit, losing body fat, she now has a better relationship with food because now she can eat 2,000, 2,100 plus calories and be able to maintain her weight. She can go on multiple weekend trips, not bat an eye, not track. She's honestly not tracking at all right now, which is fabulous. She's been able to like delete MyFitnessPal. I haven't confirmed that with her. I need to text her and see if she actually deleted it. Sometimes it's nice to get in there and see like what this is calories wise, but she was able to learn like how to eat. And I think that is so amazing. More energy for a job, gaining lean muscle tone. I mean, she has completely changed her body, as you can see. So let's talk about some metabolism boosting habits and some tangible things you can do aside from reverse dieting, aside from doing that initial metabolic assessment for yourself. So nutrition, we want to make sure that we are eating at maintenance the majority of the year. If you're not eating at maintenance, if you're always dieting in a dieting mindset, you're going to really struggle to lose body fat because of that metabolic adaptation. So we want to keep your metabolism happy, and your metabolism is the happiest at maintenance. So maintenance majority of the year. Having a protein, carb, fat, and fiber at each meal not only is going to help your metabolism, but it's going to help a bunch of different things. Blood sugar regulation is a huge thing when it comes to burning body fat. If your blood sugar is all over the place, your body is not going to be in a safe spot to lose body fat. We want to make sure we're having all of these components at a meal in order to keep that blood sugar stable throughout the day, especially if you have any sort of like autoimmune diseases or thyroid issues or like PCOS, hormonal issues. You have to do this. Like, this is literally so important. I'm like saying this very adamantly because I really believe in it. And there's also a ton of research behind having these things at a meal to make sure we're balancing your blood sugar. Eating mostly whole foods is also going to be really helpful for all of those things, like I mentioned. And when you eat whole foods, your body actually takes more time to break those foods down, which you actually burn calories by eating food, which is kind of weird, but nice. It's called the thermic effect of food, TEF. And when we have things like protein that is like a grass-fed beef and a cauliflower and like a sweet potato, like that's going to take a lot more time in our stomach to break down than going to maybe like McDonald's and getting like some fries and a milkshake. Like that's going straight through you, right? Whereas when you have something that is very nutrient dense, your body takes that time. Also, the nutrients and stuff in there, your body is going to thank you for that. And then reverse diet after any fat loss phase, we want a reverse diet. Reverse diets can be hard, they can be annoying, but they are 1000% worth it. Movement wise, so strength training 3 to 5 times per week. This is going to completely revolutionize your metabolism because when you build muscle, you have more calories just being burned at rest. So me sitting in my chair, I am burning more calories than someone that doesn't have as much muscle as me sitting in a chair. It's really cool because metabolism in your body and muscle in your body is expensive to hold on to. So it basically burns calories as you are just hanging out. I don't know who doesn't want to be able to just like watch football, or I'm watching Dancing with the Stars after this, very excited. I'm going to be burning calories on my couch. That's pretty cool because I weight train. Um, Having a step goal too, it is really important. It's so I know I talked about the thermic effect of food. A part of the like daily energy expenditure is also neat activity, which is non-exercise activity. So this could be like doing your laundry. It doesn't have to be like necessarily a walk, but getting steps in is going to be really important to augmenting that. If you're not getting 6,000 steps in and you're complaining about having a slow metabolism, that's a great place to start. Stress management. Too much stress, it's going to be hard to make progress. Your body does not want to lose body fat and get toned when it thinks it's like being like chased by a bear or something like that. Just like when I mentioned the caveman times with metabolic adaptation and your body thinking it's in a famine and famine state, the same thing happens when you're stressed out. Is it goes back to like being chased by a bear. And when you're being chased by a bear, your body is like not thinking about how snatched you want, like it wants to be in a bikini. Like it's not thinking about that. It's thinking about how to save itself. So we got to make sure we are managing stress. Literally 5 minutes a day is a great place to start. I like to get up in the morning and I read my Bible, do my devotional, and breathe. And literally that does wonders. One thing I've been implementing for myself lately too is 5 breaths before I eat. Nervous system game changer. So these small things are going to really help. You don't need to do a full-blown massage every week or a bath every day. Like 5 minutes, we can commit to 5 minutes. Do lower intensity workouts. If you are a cardio bunny or you're a boot camp girly, I have news for you. This is probably not the best thing for your results, and it's probably adding more inflammation than you want. So doing lower intensity workouts like strength training and walking is going to help. Minimizing caffeine, make sure we're not overdoing it with the adrenals. You got to save those. Implementing self-care, already went over that. But those are all of like my core metabolism boosting habits. Of course, these are more like general things. There are things like that I do with my clients, like supplements wise or nutrition wise, it's more strategic towards them or like their hormones, gut health, and stuff like that, which we can obviously talk about if you ever do join my program. But there are things that are a little bit more high level with that, but these are more general. So, in conclusion, your metabolism is beautiful. Food is not the enemy. It's the answer to achieving your goals truly. And once we can get that out of your head, literally everything changes. And it's really not just about like losing weight rapidly in this age of Ozempic and weight loss drugs. Like, of course, you can lose fat, but if we don't learn how to keep it off and how to have a healthy metabolism and hormones, you're going to continue to be in this cycle. And so, I really just want to, really reiterate that and let you guys know that that is the long-term effective things. And then reverse dieting is amazing. I love it. It's the reason I started this. And if you all haven't experienced the feeling of it, it really is awesome and a tool that changed my life and so many others there. So I'm going to, here we go. So I want to present to you my Black Friday deal. I'm going to pop some things into the chat. That's why I was distracted here. Popping some things into the chat, the metabolic assessment. And then I also am going to drop to you guys early access to my Black Friday deal. This is the only sale I do a year, 20% off my one-to-one signature metabolic makeover transformation program. It is such a steal, just by the way. Only 5 spots available for this. I'm sure if all of you are on here, you are wanting to lose fat, get toned, do it all without giving up chocolate, wine, martinis, all the things. And I know I talked a lot about my program on here, but you will get like a customized workout nutrition strategy tailored to your metabolism and hormones. The one size fits all doesn't work. You got to have something that is made for you. Extensive accountability and one-to-one access. So you get access to me every single week for weekly in-depth check-ins. I know I talked about my check-in process, but let me tell you, they're in-depth and they're made so that way you see results. And you can access me whenever you want, 24/6, whether that's a question about your nutrition or you just want to share with me a win, or if you're having a hard day. I'm here for you. I'm here to send a voice memo. Also have so many different resources in my program and all of that stuff. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to just DM me on Instagram or text me back on the number that's been texting you, because that is going to be how you can reach me. But that's the Black Friday deal. I mean, who's excited? I'm excited for Black Friday. I always love a deal on Black Friday. But I did pop the links in the group chat for the Black Friday. So if you do want to claim one of those spots, Basically, if you do submit an application, it doesn't mean that you have to like sign up like immediately. I like to have like a quick call with you, see if, if I can help you, honestly. Like that's my number one thing. I won't take someone that I feel like I can't help. So we'll make sure I can help you, make sure it feels aligned for both of us, and then go from there. But definitely like no pressure with that call at all. Um, and then I think that's all of my like little Black Friday things. But any questions, drop them in the group chat or unmute yourself. Would love that. And then the second link I sent, or maybe it was the first one, whatever. The one that's labeled metabolic assessment, submit that. If you do need to take a couple days to do that, totally fine with me. I know it says to track a few days, but if you already have kind of what you've been eating, great, you can submit that tonight. If not, you can take a few days and kind of submit it on your own time, and then I'll give you that feedback there and send you a video going over everything for that metabolic assessment. But highly suggest if you're like, I don't really know if I'm under eating, or like maybe I am under eating or overeating. Like there's just a lot of unknowns with that. This is the perfect spot for this. I was actually looking at, I've done over like 400 assessments at this point, which is insane. But just know I'm an expert on the metabolic assessment stuff there. So, anyone have any questions or anything? This has been fun. I feel like I've been talking a million miles a minute, but I always love doing these master classes. I'll give you guys a second if you are chatting, putting stuff in the chat. Someone, thank you for sharing this info with us. Of course, Candy. I love to have you here. Awesome. Okay, well, if anyone has any questions, feel free to text me. DMs are open. Hope to see you all submit that metabolic assessment, and would love for you to be in my program Black Friday and save some money there. But have a good rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy watching Dancing with the Stars, whatever you're doing tonight, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.